Is Canadian PR worth it? Is the struggle worth it? You being settled in your country with a decent paying job, but then you leave everything and move to a new country with new thoughts and new dreams of becoming a permanent resident of Canada. Is this thought worth it? Well, this is the question that a lot of my folks, clients, everybody has asked me like numerous times in front of the video, in front of the camera. This is the first time I'm gonna be sharing my personal take on this. Please be tuned till the end. My name is Sahil. So, guys, welcome once again. My name is Sahil and I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and I practice in Brampton, Ontario. My office is there, and right now I'm traveling to India. So, if you have to get in touch with me, my number is on the screen right now and in the description box. Please feel free to schedule a consultation and I would be more than happy to speak with you. Please make a note that my Canadian number is only available on WhatsApp right now since I'm in India. So if you want to give me a direct call, use the Indian number, but if you want to send me a WhatsApp, use the Canadian number. Guys, before we even move ahead, I would request you to kindly subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, because we talk a lot about Canadian immigration. And if you are a Canadian immigration aspirant, then this is the channel that you must be subscribed to so that you do not miss any notifications and updates if we release a new video. Guys, we are discussing a very personal topic today, and I don't really do such kind of videos, but then after a lot of thinking, thought, and answering a lot of people on this particular personal question, that is Canadian PR worth it, I thought of making a video and sharing it with the world as to what is my personal experience so far. When it comes to Canadian immigration, the PR, the whole movement to Canada, a new country, and altogether. I have outlined 8 aspects of discussion so far. I think on 8 particular grounds or factors, I am pretty much able to answer this question and share my input with you. Before we even start dwelling further on these 8 aspects of my movement, I think it is important for people to know that I am a person who's very family oriented. I am a person who's very, I am aspirational, I am very career oriented, but then at the same time, I like a balance with a family. Okay, so for me, family is equally important, and spending time with nears and dears, that is very important, and spending time on your self improvement is also very important. So, all the thoughts that I'm going to share in this video ahead are aligned to my personal thought and my personal aspirations and my personal perspective. It is not something that you can get. Or you can think that this is going to apply on you as well. You can very well be thinking in a different direction, but this is my viewpoint as to what I felt, that whether Canadian PR was worth it, whether moving to that country was worth it. I am sharing this thought. So make sure you watch till the end, because my entire gist of 2 years so far is in this video. Guys, the first aspect that I think is important for me is family. And I think when I moved to Canada in 2018 and 19 early, the first and foremost issue that I had was that my mother fell seriously ill, and then later so early to 2020, my father fell ill. Now my wife also fell ill. So all of these things have actually pushed me to think that family, even though we say that flights are like 18-20 hours, only 18 and 20 hours far, I mean the places are only this much far from each other, but family support is family support, and when nears and dears are there with you, you sort of even recover from the worst of the situations in life. And that only happened with my mother and my father. I've seen them recover pretty fast when we all were together, and this brings me to think that the separation for these number of years has been undue if you've been close to the family. From that perspective, I think yes, it was not worth it, but it can be aligned in a proper way. Once my family gets a PR, my wife's family gets a PR, and the parents are sort of then coming here and then going to and fro. If and when they get their PR and their visas, then it's going to be a worth it decision, because when I think it from their perspective, their life will be much better in Canada. But then again, you know how parents are, they're very well settled in where they live, so they're not really comfortable in moving out of their space. So but yes, family, if put together in India or Canada, then it's worth it. But if the families are separated, while you are in India or Canada and your parents are in India or Canada separately, then no, it's not worth it. Okay, so that's the first point. Second, I think from a professional slash employment point of view, I have two aspects. I used to be an employee and now I'm an entrepreneur. So from both the perspective, I can deliver my personal viewpoint. I think from an employment point of view, when you look at India as a country or any other country, I'm not sure, but I can give you a viewpoint in India. In India, steps or say climbing the ladder with a huge income difference is possible, but such is not possible in Canada. In Canada, there is income parity. There is nobody who's going to be earning, let's say, only 10,000 rupees, while in India that is possible. But in India, you would find somebody with a pay package of 1 CR plus. In Canada, no, that doesn't happen. So there is an income parity, so everybody is happy. Okay, in my opinion, if you have decent aspirations of life, if you want work life balance, then Canada is a better place, because as a human being you are valued for your time, your contribution. Money is, when you move beyond a certain point, say 50 40, say 50 70 $80,000, and the husband and wife are working, then it all makes sense, because you have enough money to earn a very good, a very handsome living. So people in say IT or people in marketing anywhere, if they are earning 100,000 plus annual salary in Canadian dollars, then yes, it's a good salary. Whereas in India, if you are earning say 1 lakh rupees a month, some people might find it okay, some people might find it great, and while some people are not even able to pay their house rents or their house mortgage, right? So from that perspective, I think India has a lot of drastics and dynamics, whereas in Canada, if you move beyond a certain wage level, you're only going to be either good or amazing, or at least bare minimum average. You cannot get worse, because if you're ready to work, then you're only going to be either average or better, nothing less than that. So yes, from that perspective it's good. But then from an entrepreneur perspective, from a business perspective, I think Canada is a much better place than India, because in Canada the taxes, the whole system, the money inflow, credit, and all of that is very settled. Whether you're a small time business player, or whether you're an entrepreneur or a service player, or a professional service professional, something like that, then even then also it's a good place from an entrepreneur point of view. Whereas in India, the ecosphere of working, the employment, the business is very varied. It can get really low, but it can get amazing also. So like I said, the dynamics are huge. But on the other hand, in Canada, keeping a team, managing a team, employees, that is expensive. Then from that perspective, I think India is a better place, because like I said, from a wage level, if you're on the other side of the story, then yes, you think that income parity is there. But when you're on the entrepreneur side of the story, then you think India is a better place, because you're able to manage the expenses of wages and everything in a better shape. So you see how these two viewpoints are varying. Apart from that, I think the third most important factor is for kids. I think kids are very important, and after a certain stage of life, all you do is worry about your kids. I think Canada is really good in terms of education, and kids get the opportunity to grow and learn the skill that they like the most. So in India, if somebody says today that I want to be a DJ or a cook or something, he's looked at it from a different angle. I'm not sure. After movies like Three Idiots and everything, people are definitely motivated to take other professions, but then in India, it's still a taboo. Whereas in Canada, it's amazing. You can think of anything, and be rest assured that if you're doing well in your field, you can be doing amazing in terms of money and career and everything. Whether you're a cook or a photographer or anything, you can, if you're good at it, you can be doing very well. From a health perspective, I think Canada is amazing. But apart from the fact that Canada, you get free health and everything, and you get hospital expenses and everything paid off by the provincial coverage and everything. I think it is the same for everybody. So hospital waitings and everything is there. It can get frustrating at times, but then since it's free, you don't really worry about that a lot. But on the other hand, medical response, police response, and everything, that is amazing. So from that point of view, you really feel safe. If you're talking about India, if you're ready to pay, if you're going to a private hospital and if you know some people there, then the medical attention in India is better than Canada, because in Canada you don't even have an option of paying extra and getting more attention. In India, if you pay more, you can get the best of the doctors, you can get some people to refer you and blah blah and everything. Then the medical attention is best and better in India. So then again, the dynamics are different. Depends upon which part of the spectrum are you in. Can you afford more? Do you want to pay more for better services, or do you want like amazing services but for everybody the same, wherein the waiting and the public opinion comes into matter. So like in Canada, say COVID testing was free for everybody and all of that, right? So all of that is very well considered in Canada. From a safety perspective, I think some thumbs up for Canada. You feel very very safe. You dial 911, you will see police in the next couple of minutes. If you are involved in a road accident, you can very well expect to be helped within a couple of minutes rather than waiting in a life-threatening situation. Whereas in India, we all know the criminal cases and everything, they are on a all-time high always. So from that perspective, there is no competition at all. So if you have, mother, sister, kids, daughters, and then children, you feel very safe and comfortable if you are in Canada. Whereas in India, it's always a tension, it's always an issue. So no comparison there. I think from a future perspective, from an old age perspective, um, Canada is a much better space if you are on an average earning ecosphere, because the pension system really takes care of you for the rest of your life. If you're contributing to your CPP, the contribution from an employment or your own personal contribution is good. And from an employment insurance perspective also, if you ever lose a job, whenever you're lost on an opportunity or anything, the government is there to support you. So from that perspective, double thumbs up to Canada. You don't really feel worried, you don't have the tension and everything. In India, you save up eventually so that you safeguard your future. If you are taking the right policies and everything, yes, you can safeguard your future, but then it is always very dynamic. I mean, on financial institutions, you can't really have that faith that they're going to be supportive to you forever. Like very recently, a bank closed down and the money and all got stuck. So who is there? I mean, what if someday they just wrap it up and then then they leave? Who is going to be responsible? Nobody, right? But at least in Canada, that level of trust and level of security is a notch above when the government is involved, right? So well, nothing is always assured, but at least you hope, or at least you feel that at least somebody is there on a better authority level. From a money perspective, I think that's the seventh option that I have. From a money perspective, I think in Canada, in India first, it can either get very very low or it can get amazingly high, right? So you can be very rich and you can be poor as well, right? So that huge gap is not good in India. I don't really enjoy that. In Canada, it is either average or amazingly high. So if you are ready to work, if you have, if even if you know how to mop or sweep or anything, the bare minimum for an unskilled labor is $14 an hour, right? In Ontario, and then for a provincial earning, it's obviously separate. So in Canada, the minimum wage at least creates a lot of income parity. And then, if you're deserving, if you're skilled, if you're amazing, you can expect to earn a lot higher. If you're into business, if you're into, say IT or anything, you can expect to earn amazingly high. But from a money perspective, I think after the initial few months of struggle or even first few years of struggle, you can at least expect to be here and then be above. Okay, so from that point of view, Canada is again a thumbs up. I really feel much more secured, and the potential of earning money is huge there. But then again, it's for the larger benefit of everybody when the income parity comes into picture. Guys, the eighth, last but not least, is a sort of a point where I call culture. Okay, and that is totally immaterial and totally expectation based. I think when you are in that country, so I came to India. I'm on this current trip to India. There's a long trip of about 3 months, and I think after this trip, and in fact during this trip, I am very well in a position to draw a comparison when it comes to the culture of the two places. I think the first one is I am not really worried in Canada because everything is set, everything is in a well set process. You don't really have to worry quite a lot. There are no market fluctuations. I mean, as compared to the other world, there are very minimalistic sort of fluctuations, and well, at least I'm not worried that if anything adverse happens, I know the Canadian government is there to help me. Okay, and that is a very big, sort of a comforting level to your head. The whole community is non-judgmental to an extent. Uh, Whatever you wear, wherever you roam, howsoever you eat, wherever you're roaming, nobody is really bothered to even note you. Nobody has the time, first of all. They don't care, and they're all busy in their own life, right? It's a very small thing. Say you're going to somebody's house, if you're going to a friend's house, people don't really bother making so many dishes and everything. People are happy just they're spending good quality time, and everybody cooks food, and it's more like a hot pot where people bring in their food, sort of get together, enjoy, BYOB, everything is there. So it's sort of a culture. The culture is amazing. They're non-judgmental, they're comforting, they're caring, and everybody is busy. So when you tell them that you are busy, and if we have to meet or if you have to do something, everybody tries to chip in their bit. Okay, it is not as one person bears the whole pressure and everybody else enjoys. It is not there. I think nobody really compares with you. Like I said, I have told this in the earlier videos as well. There is no CEO sort of air around you, or there is no clerk sort of an air around you. There is no people don't really look down on you if you're an Uber driver or anything. Whereas in India, it's huge. I mean, if you are a driver or something, people really start judging you so bad. And whereas in Canada, I think Uber drivers make huge amount of money, and CEOs, they make huge amount of money, and somebody who's an office admin or a clerk or anybody is making almost the same amount of money as you are making. So a dump truck driver is as amazing and respected as a chauffeur, of say a big bus or something like that. So there is no sort of a judgmental or a comparison. They're all together. We're all trying to help each other, building, motivating each other, and they're very peaceful. The whole country is very non-aggressive and peaceful. I mean, there people are helpful. They say sorry, they say thank you, and all of that. And it's not just a word that they are saying. It's actually the culture, right? People hold doors when you're walking through in India. I mean, just a couple of days ago, we were just walking through the store, and somebody walked in front of us and pushed the door really hard on front of me. We were really saved. My kid was there in front of me. But that is bad attitude, that is bad practices. Whereas in Canada, if somebody is walking ahead of you, they'll hold the door open while you walk. And then once you're out, you will hold the door open for the next person if there is anybody behind you. So that is a sort of culture, right? You don't see all of that here. And from that perspective, I think yes, it was worth it. Because people are caring, people are considerate, people are compassionate when it's you, and you are also compassionate, caring, and considerate when it's somebody else. So it's sort of give and take relationship. um, Apart from that, I think there is, these 8 perspectives, these 8 points are enough to say that yes, Canada was worth it from a family point of view, I think if your family lives with you and if you are in Canada together, if you're all mutually respectful and helpful, I think then it's a good place to be. It is definitely a give and take, because at some points I think you find your own country better, India better, because that is where I was born, right? I mean, India is where I feel like I don't have any issue, any tension. But then, if I'm into a trouble, if I'm into any issue, I have somebody to take care of me. In Canada, you are on your own always. You need to be professionally set up. You will get help. You need to ask for it, but then obviously everything comes at a price. Whereas, in India, the mindset is more like, you know let's say in India, in Delhi, people have heard, no, मेरा चाचा कौन है, मेरा ताया कौन है, मेरा भाई कौन है, मेरा बाप कौन है. In Canada, that doesn't really happen, right? So from that perspective, nobody really is expecting a lot of help. In hospitals there or anywhere else, you're always on your own, right? You need to be relying on the authorities and everything and everybody to help you genuinely. No place is worse or good, I think. Broadly speaking, I love India. I've always loved India and I always keep on coming back, and I can never leave this place because I was born here, right? I could move to a different city where it's less polluted or anywhere, but then still I will always love India, because the brains, the thought, the life, my 30 years of upbringing, my culture, my thought, consideration, compassion, everything was given on this land. I can never forget this. I will always love this. But then, if you were to ask me a final opinion, I think I would want to be to and fro between both the countries. I can never leave this, and I'm happy to be in Canada. But it's like more of a love-hate relationship, which you cannot really give up. So yes, I love India, and I'm happy that Canada PR was worth it. So I love Canada as well. They've been very helpful, and I am in a spot where I am enjoying best of both the worlds. So yeah, that's about it. That's my opinion on the whole topic. Well, I hope, guys, you really got a gist of the whole story, and you got to know, what I think. Well, I really want to know what you think. I'm sure a lot of PRs are there who are watching this video. A lot of citizens, Canadian citizens, are watching this video. Do share your comments in the comment section below and share your thought. I would be more than happy to chip in and provide more of my views and opinions in the coming videos ahead. Guys, it was lovely chatting with you once again, and I hope to see you soon in Canada. All the best.